Good morning, good morning. Thank you for catching the replay. Hey everyone, I'll just let some people get a minute to catch on or to jump on live. Welcome to Biz Talk Tuesday. I'm Ingrid Owens. I hope you're having a wonderful day wherever you're at. Let me know where you are watching from. If you're watching the replay, go ahead and type in the comments, #replay. Let me know where you are watching the replay from and what you're up to. I am here in Atlanta, as usual, on a very bright and sunny fall morning. And it is Biz Talk Tuesday again. And today, this is the show where we talk about biz talk, things that are relevant to us creative entrepreneurs in growing our business, starting our business, and being in entrepreneurship online. So, hey, Linda, how are you? Good morning. Good to see you. Today, what we're going to talk about is the process of failure, or the fear process. And I want to kind of debunk it a little bit and talk about it, because over the last couple of weeks we've been talking about fears and the fears that hold you back from making steps forward in your business. And one of the biggest fears that I hear all the time is this whole idea of the fear of failure. And I want to take a minute here and kind of debunk this fear a little bit and call it what it is, and let's talk about it. So if you have cited this as some reason why you're not taking bigger leaps forward in your business, let's talk about that for a second. And if you've already experienced this fear of failure, please go ahead and let me know in the comments. It's always really helpful to get some engagement and feedback from my people. I want to start out by saying I want to call a spade, as I always say. The fear of failure, it's a real fear, but let's talk about what that word failure actually means. So failure usually means you've tried something and it didn't work out the way that you expected it to, or you floated something and things just, it was a flop, according to the meaning that you've attached to it, right? So there's a couple of things going on there. First of all, it implies the fact that you did something, and it implies the fact that you had an expectation that, and the way that you wanted it to go, the expectation and the reality didn't work. Okay. Now the fear around that, involves lack of action and lack of taking any kind of moves forward. And so that whole notion of actually failing is what is stopping you from even taking forward. So you're actually creating a story around it. And you've heard me in coaching speak before talk about creating a story around the meaning of something. And that is one of the most powerful things in coaching, to call yourself on those stories, because it's by changing our thoughts and reframing how we see things that's going to allow us to take bigger steps forward and make those leaps that we need to make to become successful, right? So what I want to do is I want to challenge that whole notion of failure, and I want you to replace that idea of failure as experimentation. Because to be in business, you absolutely, positively have to take on the role of the experimenter, okay? It is constantly a way of changing and making tweaks to your strategy, to your processes, to your system, to your craft. Everything is an experiment. But by not experimenting, you're not doing yourself any favors. So what I wanted to talk about today was the 3 T's of this entrepreneurship it's really the 3 T's of the failure process. The failure process seems really kind of hard if you're not okay with the word failure being experiment. But let's talk about what those 3 T's are. And marketing in its core is rooted in this. Because if you have studied any kind of marketing, you'll know that it's all experimentation. Now, we are entrepreneurs and we are creative entrepreneurs, which means we layer on top of that stories about what it means, what it means about us, what it means about our craft, all of the other stuff as well. So you've got to be able to put the marketing hat on, take off the creative hat for a minute, and take out the story away from that. Like, so take out the meaning from it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? I want it to be clear that you've got to kind of take a data-driven approach for all of this stuff. And doing that will help you to move forward in your business. So, the first thing is, like I said, we need to label failure, change the label of failure to experiment. And so instead of launching a new program or creating a new product or writing a post and saying, oh, I didn't get any comments or likes or shares, right? Just say, okay, I tried this one thing and it didn't work, so now I'm going to try it again. So the 3 T's. The first one is to try, okay? To try, because if you don't try, nothing is going to happen. If we think about all of the posts that we're going to write, and we think about all of the products that we are going to make, and we think about all of the things we're going to do, there is no try in all of that. Isn't that a Yoda thing? There is no can, only try. I need another meme I need to find up here. But it's so true. If you don't actually make the progress and take the action, then, you're never going to know. And so many people come to me with marketing ideas or product ideas and concepts for business. And they're like, do you think it'll work? Will it work? Will it work if I do this? Will it work? And it's like, the answer is, I don't know. All we can do is have a strategy in place and do it strategically and try. Okay. So that's the first T, is the whole idea, the whole notion of trying, experimenting with strategy. It has to be rooted in strategy. And by strategy, I mean just looking a few steps ahead as to how you want it to play out. I'm going to first do this thing, then I'm going to do this thing, then I'm going to do this thing, and at the end of it, I should hope for the results, the hypothesis being that people will buy this or people will contact me or whatever. Okay, so strategically trying. Okay, the second thing is test, right? This is very obvious, right? We're talking about trying something. This is what people forget. Okay. We write a post. Nothing takes. It's strategic. We do all the things. And then it doesn't work. So we make a story about it and we're like, well, obviously it wasn't good enough. And we do it. And then we try something else, but we don't actually take the data on the thing that we're testing, right? We don't actually take the time to look at the numbers, to look and see what the engagement was, what could I have said differently, what specifically did I say that resonated. Like, let's not always look at the negative, let's look at the positive too. So we need to test, and it has to be rooted in data. And we need to be tracking a little bit of that analytics and that data. And it doesn't have to be something major. It could be just how many people are opening our emails, how many people are clicking on links, how many people are viewing our page, how many people are actually converting. And by being consistent with the testing, you'll start to see the patterns, okay? And you'll start to see where are people coming from, what's resonating and what's not. Okay. It's really, really important that you do that. And you have to do it in a controlled manner, okay? Linda says, sometimes I have so many ideas, but I have trouble following through and the data tracking is hard for you. Yes, I totally get that, Linda. The data, it can be a little overwhelming, but I would just say that it is so, so important, and you have to roll up your sleeves and get in there and start to look. Okay. And, if you use a platform, which I know you do or used to use is something like Etsy, they give you a lot of that information in there. And it's hard for us creatives because we're not wired that way. We don't want to look at the numbers. But the truth lies in the numbers. The truth typically doesn't lie in the story that we're creating in our mind. The truth lies in the numbers. Now, I'm also a big believer that the truth lies in your heart or your gut or wherever you feel your intuition. So if you have a feeling, an intuitive thought that, something's not working because of a certain idea, I also am a big believer in going with that too. But don't make a story up about it. So I challenge you to look, if you've been in business, which I know you have been for a while now, take a chunk of time, take 6 months or 12 months and look back and see what's working, and what's not. And a quick hour or two, just taking a little bit of time to get to know that. And I know with Etsy specifically, there's a lot of tutorials and things that will allow you to analyze that data. For me, I can fall down a hole with data, and I kind of like that. I get geeked out on the math side of stuff, and but it's not necessary. So you just want to look at some of the basic stuff. The basic stuff as in, like, what am I putting out there? What's resonating and what's not? So first of all, we're recapping. You got to try. If you're not trying something new, then, we can't have the ideas don't make things happen. It's the actual, we've got to do it, right? Always test and tweak. Oh, sorry. That's my third one, right? Tweak, right? That is so important. That is so important. If you have got an idea and you've worked it and you're seeing a little traction on it, but not as much as you would like, then figure out what it is that people like about that thing, or what is resonating about that thing, and tweak it. Okay. And it's this process of trying, testing, and tweaking that is going to bring your marketing to the next level, because too many people put something out there and then forget about it, or they try something and then maybe try something else. That's the biggest thing, actually, I see, is that we're constantly doing new things. And that's kind of what we want to do as human beings. Like, we like new things, but the power comes when you can tweak the thing that's already working, and then you find that really, you get really honed in and find the thing that works like gangbusters, and then you turn on the tap, and then you double down on that one thing. Okay. So the first thing, again, just to recap, for those of y'all who are joining me, I want you to label your failure as an experiment. And that we think there's no negative result of an experiment not working. It's just telling you information, right? So the next time you go to do something like post on Facebook, or, whatever it is, post on Pinterest, or create an Instagram post, right? And if you're using a social media platform, just track it a little bit. Like, I did a post on a Monday morning. This is how many responses I get when I wrote these things. Next Monday morning, and I would, with most platforms, you've got to be more regular than that. But like, say if you were like posting on Instagram, right? You're posting on a Monday morning, and then you got so many interactions. Okay, well, people like this particular photo. Maybe I'll do a similar style of that again, and do similar verbiage around that again, and then see how many interactions I get from that. Okay, so now you're tracking, and create yourself a little spreadsheet, or if you use some of these tools like that help you post, a lot of them will give you analytics on the back end too, right? So you're going to try it, you're going to keep trying, and keep track. And I could put another T in there, right? The testing is so important. So figuring out what's working and what's not. In fact, I think I do need to put a fourth T in there for tracking, because if you're not tracking it, then it's going to be really hard to figure it out, right? But don't forget to tweak, and don't forget to make small changes until you figure out the thing that sticks. I hope that works. I see there's more people coming on now, and I'm just about to hop off here. But what we were talking about is this whole idea of the process of failure, and how we need to relabel it as experimentation. And then after that, experiments are part of business, and you have to adapt that mindset. You cannot let one thing not work and put you off. Not in entrepreneurship, because you'll be knocked off your horse very, very fast. We've got to be able to try and test. And I've been doing this online thing for almost 11 years now, which is crazy bananas. And I have tried everything, and I've had more failures than I care to remember. But I do know that when things are happening right, they're happening. Okay. And you just double down on the thing that's working. Okay. So I want to encourage you, if you have an idea, or if you have a thought or a seed of an idea that you want to make happen, but you have no clue how to go about it, and you are creating stories around your head that it's going to fail, and that it's not going to work, and all of this sort of stuff that's happening, I want to encourage you to hop on a call with me. I am launching my new group program in the fall. It's a small, intimate group of people who are at the same level, all launching different things. And we are going to be talking you through that foundation. We're going to be going through idea validation. Like, what is it exactly that you're going to do? How are you going to make money with this? Is it going to fly? So I'm going to support you through that beginning process, and then setting your foundation for success, and mapping and planning out your marketing so that you have a roadmap to follow. I am super excited about this. I know that it's really, really going to help a lot of people. So if you would like to be considered for that, I would really love you to hop on a call. I can tell you all the information. And even if it's not something that's not for you right now, you know, we can talk about some things that you can be doing to get you to the point that it would be. But I will put the link below. I think it's ingridkellyowens.com/clarity, but I will put the link below because it's a clarity call. I just need to look back at some of the comments because they keep disappearing here. Linda says, Ingrid, thanks. That's going to be my new goal. Yeah, Linda, I really want to encourage you to do that. It's a great goal for this last. Now, don't spend your life tracking. Don't forget that you have to try as well. And that speed is important, right? You've got to keep the momentum going because it's very easy to get kind of stuck and you get lost in those numbers again. So keep trying. And for you, you know, you're a product creator and, you know, it's coming up to your busy time. Like, you really need to be knocking stuff out pretty fast. But I would be focusing on driving traffic to your product and doing that using social media. And the other thing as well is sometimes we can be trying the same thing over and over and over and it's not getting results, and we create stories around it, like I said. But the reason is that maybe it's just not where your people are at. So don't be afraid to try other things. I'm all about focus and I'm all about giving our all to the one thing at a time, but know when time's enough to try something else as well, okay? And we can do things simultaneously, but it's best if we can kind of focus a little bit too. All right, so I've got to run. I hope this was valuable to you all who are watching. Again, if you're watching the replay, go ahead and type #replay. Let me know your thoughts. How valuable did y'all find this? Let me know from 1 to 10 in the comments. If you find this really valuable, give me a 10. If you find this not so valuable, give me a 1. Give me a 5 if it's sort of in between. If it was no value, give me a 1. And if it was a little bit in between, give me a 5. I want to encourage you to tell me what's going on with you so I can serve you better. I am here for you. And let's get going. Let's get those businesses out into the world. I'm excited to see what the next little while holds for you all. All right. Have a great, awesome Tuesday, and I'll see you next week, if not before.